Hey, this is Ramon, channel is Alpha 4, and this is not the best camera angle. Then I saw the Lamb open one of the 7 seals, and I heard one of the 4 living creatures call out, as with a voice of thunder, "Come." I looked, and there was a white horse. Its rider had a bow. A crown was given to him, and he came out, conquering and to conquer. Now, this is a reference to 2 different things. One is that it's a reference to Parthia. The other is that it is a reference to Jesus. Continuing on. When he opened the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd living creature call out, "Come." And out came another horse, bright red. Its rider was permitted to take peace from the earth, so that people would slaughter one another. And he was given a great sword. Now it's important to understand that this peace that is taken from the earth is not an argument for Christianity being violent or for war. It's actually against the Pax Romana. So it's saying that the Roman peace will be ended, which was a false peace, a peace of slavery, where people were not allowed to worship as they saw fit. They couldn't worship one god. They had to worship Caesar and then whatever god they wanted. Here, it's saying that type of false peace will be taken away, will be ended, and a true peace will take over, where people could worship freely. When he opened the 3rd seal, I heard the 3rd living creature call out, "Come." I looked, and there was a black horse. Its rider held a pair of scales in his hand, and I heard what seemed to be a voice in the midst of the 4 living creatures saying, "A quart of wheat for a day's pay, and 3 quarts of barley for a day's pay, but do not damage the olive oil and the wine." Now there is some Eucharistic undertones here, but what this is saying is that the famine shall be short, that while it will last, it will not last forever. When he opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th living creature call out, "Come." I looked, and there was a pale green horse. Its rider's name was Death, and Hades followed with him. They were given authority over a 1/4 of the earth to kill with sword and famine and pestilence, and by the wild animals of the earth. Now there's a lot here that I can't get into as much as I would like to, but people always go, "Oh, it's a pale horse," and they think the white horse is the horse of death, or the black horse is the horse of death. No, the horse of death is the green horse. And this goes back to the chariot stuff in the Old Testament. And that ties into the Babylonians sacking, predictions of the Babylonians sacking Jerusalem. Here it's the Romans sacking the temple. That's the illusion. Anyway, you're also going to notice that Death and Hades are there. Okay, so Hades was the god of death, and his attendant was Discord, or Dis. Now, why is that important? Because right here they're doing an allusion to Greek mythology. This is not a reference to Satan, even though a lot of people want to make it such. But Hades itself is basically the ruler of the underworld, of Tartarus. There's just a lot there, but it's not a direct reference to Satan, and it's not a direct reference to what the word that we use, which is hell. Moving on. When he opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of those who had been slaughtered for the word of God and for the testimony they had given. They cried out with a loud voice, "Sovereign Lord, holy and true, how long will it be before you judge and avenge our blood on the inhabitants of the earth?" They were each given a white robe and told to rest a little longer, until the number would be complete, both of their fellow servants and of their brothers and sisters who were soon to be killed as they themselves had been killed. So this is actually the exact paragraph where we get our modern use of the word martyr, our modern connotations. Before this, it just really means witness. And they're not exactly calling out for vengeance, or at least not unjust vengeance. Here, it's more of a righteous indignation. That's why they're given the white robes, to show purity, to show that they are not defiling themselves by asking for vengeance, or they're not speaking out of anger and spite. When he opened the 6th seal, I looked, and there came a great earthquake. The sun became black as sackcloth. the full moon became like blood, and the stars of the sky fell to the earth, as the fig tree drops its winter fruit when shaken by a gale. The sky vanished like a scroll rolling itself up, and every mountain and island was removed from its place. Then the kings of the earth and the magnates and the generals and the rich and the powerful and everyone, slave and free, hid in the caves and among the rocks of the mountains, calling to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of the one seated on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of their wrath has come, and who is able to stand? There you go. That was Revelation chapter 6. We were doing this from my favorite translation, which is the NRSV. This is my favorite translation of the Bible. It did have one line there that I don't like. I didn't like that they took out he or his and changed it with there, but that's fine. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Talk to you all later. Peace, like, and subscribe.